It says at the very top, it says, Nisboyer Gam came Lama Ein Omrim Halo Gamor B'Shvihi Shel Pesach. Why not? Although the Fishalo Niknas Raka Chesed the Rishon, because of the first week, the 7 parts of the Chesed Rishon come in. Shalo Nishla B'Kol Chasadim the Hispasha, but all the Chasadim have not spread. V'chein Ein Omrim Halo Gamor V'Gam Einu Zivug Gamor. It's not a complete Yichud either. Gemoshe Echtav L'Kaman Be'ez Hashem. Even though it hasn't finished spreading, that is the day after the holiday, because the holiday has so many days, and you go to the second day when you start counting. If you're going to count 7, you're going to wind up on the 8th day from the original holiday, which is Yisro Chag. Im calls those Kevin Sheikir Tipa Sachesed Eno Ela the Tzorach Yisod. But let's see, this is the same concept of how we have 2 different kavanas on the last 2 days, and the most important part seems to be the going into Yisod. So the drop really just needs to get to Yisod. That's the main thing. Once it gets to that place, apparently, then that's the place. So he said, "Tipas dechura, behikones hayisod shel hachesed rishon." So when the first chesed comes in, the yisod of that chesed. Maspik the zivug, that's enough for the yichud. It's ready to make yichud. Over b'yom shel achrav, the next day. Shenikdas av bechinas of malchus, where you also have the bechin of malchus comes in at that time. Shel chesed rishon. Bechen yesh bo tzas kedusha rav yom Isra Chag. It has a certain amount of kedusha, and it's called the Isra Chag. Who al derek masha kasav the erev drush shmini. So this is similar to what we said in the drush of the Shrini. I don't know what Shmini is. Ki behikonis rishima the muach chochma, who yom tov gamor. That's the day when the chochma, the rishima comes in at that time. The yom shel achrov, and the day after that, afal pisha niknas latzmuso. Even that is when actually the essence of the moach actually comes in. Einu nikra ela Isra Chag. It's only the Isra Chag. The main thing. Now, there must be more to that to think about, is getting the shefa reaching Yisod. Going on, he said, Od yesh inyan acher, there's something else. So then we're turning to the 11th drush. So, Od yesh inyan acher, spheres of inyan spheres of Omer. And he said, V'hud nekasher im chadrash and nizgar, so it's tied up what we said before. For shnechem chem b'bechina achas, and what are they? He says, Hinei noida. So we understand that he has oros, which is, I think he's talking about the tzadi d'tzelem. Gam yesh oros makifim, which is the laman and the mem d'tzelem. And when you come to the muach hadas, yordan and mispashtim bo oros penimim v'oros makifim. So when we come to that, out of das comes both different types. So let's see, the inside, it goes through, let's say, the neck area, through the throat. And it goes into the body of Zeranpin. What about that light? Since it's generating both lights. It goes out of the mouth. And it surrounds the zat. Al dereka amor la'el, we talked about this some. He says, Mamish, bebechinas hachasada b'penimim hamispashtim b'shevet achtonos. Now he said, V'ata nevar inyanim, let me explain this a little bit more, he says. Hinecha ve'elach hachasada v'chakavur shebatoch yisod de'imas, these chasada megavuras there, heim oris rabim v'gedolim, there are very big lights and multiple lights and big lights. So what does he mean by that? You're inside of the yisod of Ima. So they are lights which are multiple lights. But they're in the neck. And the neck is in very narrow and pressurized place. The Gavarn is Bayeretz Leno, so it's already been explained by us. Evarnis Ladach Etzleinu Ki Or HaMakif Gadol Me'or HaPanimi, so that we know V'afal Pisha HaOr HaPanimi Hu HaChasadim Kenizgar, even though we understand that these are Chasadim, is about to say this, V'Or HaMakif is Gevuros. Now that's interesting. Im calls us another one is sweet and one's not. Im calls Zechav Chatam Hu Nirmaz, but the reason is referenced in this way. It's better to have a revealed rebuke than to have a chesed that you can't find, which is hidden. What does this mean? He said, Pirushu ki chagevuros heim kochos zedin and nikroim tochachos. So that's what they are. Shemehem boim hatochachos v'chayisurim la'olam. This is the source of the pain in the world. This is a very interesting idea. It's like a contradiction in what you might think. So he says, Hine, so they're like, what is the Gevurah here? They're on the outside, and they're shaping, are influencing, which is shaping is the Gevurah. They're shaping, I guess, the Zat. Hine heim yoser sofer tovim v'yoser me'irim. Let me read this again. This will get a little bit lost. Kegavuros heim kochos aden nikran tochachos shemechem b'bohem tochachos v'yisurim la'olam. Hine heim yoser tovim v'yoser me'irim. He says it turns out that they're better and they shine more. L'chi yoser begula b'bechinas or makif, because they're out in the world, or let's say out of the inside of Zeranpin, their surroundings Zeranpin. Yosim in the chasadim and nikrohim avos chesed, which are called that. L'chi yosim musutarim, because they're hidden b'bechinas or habenimi, the aspect of this interior light. So oram musutar ve'enin niglach b'meir, so their light is hidden. It doesn't really come out to be shining. Even though that we understand that chasadim by themselves are ma'ulim yosim and the gevuros and the makif, which I don't think I ever saw that they said that the makif is that the Rav said this previously. So let's go on. He says, what does he say over there? Be'inyan chamisha motzol seper hanikbrach besuchi chosim. Let's go back over this. He says what? He says that the tikkun ayin. He says be'inyan in regards to this, the five different types of sounds that come out of the mouth. Motzol seper hanikbrach besuchi chosim, which are called the openings of the seal. In other words, they're sealed up inside. I guess the mouth is the place that comes out. And what are we talking about? This is ima ilah. So the Indian is like this. He said, that the actual opening of the mouth here, I'm not sure what he means. He means this is the first time that the mouth opens, or maybe that is it. He says, "Ki kevin shepesichas apan nivkos machmas chamisha gevuros mansapach kenizger le'elder," because they came out because of the five gevuros of mansapach. Heim atban chamisha motzos apeh. So therefore they themselves are the five motzos apeh. Now I want to go and look at the tiv on this, because I never heard. I should maybe have heard of it, but I don't know this. He says, Heim Atzman Chamisha Motzos Peh. What's the relationship between Mansapach and the five different Hotzos of the Peh, the different sounds? So he said, Veheim So Esrim Shnaim Osius, and then he goes through the 22 letters, which are divided into Acha and Buma. He's going to go through it again in the Tiva. We'll see it again. Kanoida Ki HaOsius Nafka Mebina, because the letters themselves, they come out from Bina. Kenizke b'Hakdama is the Sefer HaTikunim that we saw over there in that Hakdama. Gam Sham Nizboyer, so they're also there, they explain. Ki ha'osis nekroim nefesh, the letters themselves are called by the name nefesh. They're the lowest element, I don't know, let's see. V'chatam, who, the reason why, ki yosef b'pechinis ha'gevuros, so since they're gevuros, coming out of the mouth, shehem etara de malchus ha'nikras nefesh. So I'm not sure what this phrase is, itra de malchus. Ki yosem mibechinis hagavuros. What are the Gevuros? Itra de Malchus, I don't know exactly what that phrase means. Hanikras Nefesh. It's the crown of Malchus, which is called Nefesh. Malchus goes with Nefesh. Became Gam Heim Nikroim Nefesh, so therefore they're also called by the name Nefesh. Let's look over here on the previous page to number 22. And I would believe that this is the first time that I've heard the concept that Mansapach, actually each one of the letters, the 5 letters there, refers to one of the Hotzos, a peh. So let's see the light print. Abir Bezehu, the explanation is like this: the Hinech is boil the El Shechameshes of Gevuras Bokim V'Yotzim B'Toch Peh L'Chutz. So they break out. So he says that's the nature of these lights. They're bigger lights. There's a lot of light there, and these break out. Really, because Vapeh Shehem Shorshei Hakaf Base Osius, which is the root of these Motzos Apeh, is the root of the 22 letters. Kanoida. Shekol Os Yotzech Ma'achad B'Chameshech B'Chambumsoch Zapeh, because each letter comes out from one of the 5 utterances of the mouth. So he says Osius. Let's just take for example Osius Acho, those letters, those 4 letters. Mechagoron, they come out of the throat. Then you have Gichat that comes from the Chech, from the palate. You have Datlanet that comes from the tongue. Zashrats, which comes from the Shinayim, and Bumov, which comes from the Svasayim. So from each one of these 5, these utterances, Yeshnam Os Acham Hamatzapach. Now we understand that that's what he wants to do. What does he want to do? He says, Matzapach, where to go? Matzapach, Shehi Shorsha. That is, what is the Mansapach? So the Mansapach is the Shorish, Osius Agoran, he Tzaddik. So let me see if I got this right. The Shehi Shorsha, Shorish Osius Hagoron is the Tzaddik. So the root, he says this, of the Botzos that come from the throat, that's based on the letter Tzaddik, which is one of the letters of the Mansapach. Shorsh Osius Hachech would be the Nun Sofit, the long Nun. Shorsh Osius Haloshon would be the Kof. Shorsh Osius Hashinayim would be the Samach. And he says the Shorsh Osius Asfosayim is going to be the face of the Fey, face of feet. So deeper repair. So this is the secret of the deeper repair. Shehu bebechinas or makif, which is, let me sit on this a second. He said v'zeh who sod deeper repair. So the mansapach, which I always thought the definition of the mansapach was they were dinim, but they were sweetened dinim. So that's later on. I've seen that. So here he says, again, the words are, Shorsh Oshos Asafim is the Fey. So, Vazel who's so Deber Hapeh. This is the speaking that the mouth does. Shehu Bechinas or Makif, which is what? Or Makif, a Yotzim Hapeh, Besa Deber. Okay, so let's go on. So now we're going to go back up to the top again. I think that was Kaf Kimmel, Kanoida. Osis Nafka Babina Kanisker. So we're actually really up at the top at number 23. I think that's where I gotta go. Kanoida Kia Osis Nafka Babina Kanisker Bachagdama Sefer Hatikunim. Okay, we saw that. Gam Sham Nizbar Kia Osis Nikroim Nefesh. This concept here, the letters are called Nefesh, which would be the bottom of the quality of the light that's in there, which is the light of Nefesh. Vatam, who the reason for this is Ki. So since it's the aspect of Gevuros, Heim Itra the Malchus of Nikra Nefesh, which is this concept of the Atara of the Malchus, which is called Nefesh, Heim Gam Heim Nikroim Nefesh. So I think I pointed out that I don't think that I've seen before Shehem Itra the Malchus. I don't think I've seen that phrase before. So we have the Itra of Chassadim and the Itra, the Gevuros. He says now, idea itra de malchus. I don't have anything on that right now. So he says, and it's Karim b'Sefer Zohar. So now we can settle two different problems here in the Zohar. In one place it says that the letters come out of the mouth. He said what? It's ki hem yotzim min chosim ilah, from the upper chosim, which is usually yisod. V'shnechem b'chein mamitim, and the two of some, one is what min chosim ima ilah. One comes from ima ilah, which could be a yisod, and then the second one comes from the mouth. So which is it? So he said v'shnechem b'chein mamitim, but the two are actually correct. He says, Ki neha osius heba bechinas gevuros. So that's the nefesh effect. I'm not sure how it goes, but he says, Heim bechinas gevuros, that the letters are gevuros. And the soon a yisod, the ima, which go originally, ultimately wind up in the yisod of ima yilor, mislaveshes b'zer anpen, go into zer anpen. Vedal gevuros heim nekroim chosim the ima yilor. So these gevuros are called her chosim. Okay. We have this in many different places. The Hoshana Rabbah. So we have this again. He says, the Hoshana Rabbah is actually the concept of a chosim there. So he's trying to explain how it is chosim gets related to this concept of the imay law. Be'inyan masha amar zal ba'osam ha'arba devarim and nikroim chabit chesed bina. I don't know what it is. Chavis devarim avira chavis tzrichim chosim b'so chosim. You have to have. I don't know this phrase chavis. I should know it, but I don't. Let's go look for it in a second. We have a second. Okay, they're out of time. Out of time?
It's not Challah, Basha, Yain, Taylor. Look at the bottom. See you later.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Okay, so to go back to where Rebbe had mentioned, if we go down to number Kof Tes, and we see over here Kof Tes, V'im be'inyan masha amar chazal ba'osam arbach of devarim and nekroim chavis. Now, what is this chavis? And you can explain. Shetzrichim chosim b'so chosim over there. Now, what's the concept of the chosim? Is really what's going on. It's a seal inside of a seal. V'hem yisod malchus. What are the two seals? One of the seal is yisod, the other is malchus. They're sealed. What does it mean? Shehem shnei chosamas and iskarim. Those are the two seals that we're talking about. So he said, they have to have some kind of a protection, which is chosim b'toch sochem, which is b'toch chosim. It's a seal within a seal. Simone b'rosh tevos chavis. So the signs of them is from these four letters chavis, which refer to chalav, basar, yain, v'techelus, and refers to flesh, water, and wine rather, and the purple dye or the blue dye. Abir harav Rasha Yom Kippurim, the Rav explains over there. Sodom shel devarim, over there the Rav explains, and apparently this is Drush A in the Hakavanot and Yom Kippur. Sodom shel devarim. So what does he explain? The Sham bebir rak as bechinas yayin. There, though, he only really explains wine. Yayin is red, let's say, and this is the aspect of gevuros. And the yisod the nook that are found in the yisod of the nook. Behem tzrichen shmira, so you have to guard them. Shelo yachzor behem chitzonim, so that the chitzonim will not grab a hold of them. But tzrichen chosim b'so chosim, so therefore they have to have a double seal. The hainu shnei chosamos ve'elach shnei chosamos heim. What are the bechinas yisod? Yisod is the first seal. that everything comes in Yisod, it gets closed up, it's protected. And then Malchus is another seal. Over there he goes on and explains it in greater depth. And that's this shiur for today.